ex-founder Richard Hart misappropriating millions of dollars in investors' funds from unregistered crypto asset security offering, raising more than $1 billion.
See if I get everybody up here.
Let's go.
Bang, bang. Nice.
Bang, bang.
How's it going? Welcome to the Vets and Crypto Show. It's your boy Vets. We got special guest, Mr. Freddie Quotes, with us, and his guest, Mr. Troy. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Good.
Good, good. Appreciate you guys coming on. Everybody looks good, sounds good.
Good.
Appreciate it. Let's see here. So I'm going to give everybody just a sample and play a Freddie Quotes video here. And let me see if I don't mess this up here by doing this. Hang on.
I see the themes, I see his dreams, I see the devil in all of his schemes. I see the lies that betray the creator, the father, the son, and the rest of his team. I see the media spreading his lies. I see so many are bending the knee. I see the grace and the mercy of God. I see the light of the world as it beams. I see the sin, I see the man, I see the wounds in the palm of his hand. I see the sacrifice that he made for us. Jesus fell so we could stand. I see the plan, it has begun. I see the damage that Satan has done. I see the serpent just putting in work, and I see that he just can't compare to the sun. I see the lust, I see the hate, I see the money that people have made. I see the greed and all that it brings. I see the time that it tested my faith. I see the pain, I see the loss. I see my Savior just hang from a cross. I see the money I spent just to flex. Thought I was a boss. I see the waste, I see the pride, I see the fear in society's eyes, searching for leaders so they can mislead us. I see all the times that we fail when we try. I see the children are being abused, see them ignore it, it's not on the news. I see the island, I see the plane, I see the logs that they will not explain. I see the names, we know who they are. I see the fame, they don't follow the cross. I see confusion, I see him flaws. I see illusions, I see him lost. I see addiction, I see the struggle. I see a God that don't want you to suffer. I see the team, I see the huddle. I see your burden, but I see you tougher. I see the wars, I see the tanks, I see corruption and I see the banks. I see the families pulling the strings, all of our rulers that have been paid. I see the ballots, I see the game, I see your followers, I see your aim. I see the fakeness, I see the shame, I see the fire and I see the flame. I see the weapons, I see the death, I see the heavens and all that is left. I see the angels, I see the clouds, I see that God is not messing around. I see it's Sodom, I see Gomorrah, I see America, all of its boredom. I see the phones, I see the screens, I see the porn and the guilt that it brings. I see the president, seen his appointments, I see the church and I see disappointment. I see the pope, I see the priest, I wanna see hope, but I see the beast. I see the booze, I see the drugs, I see commercials that come from the plug. I see consumers, I see the chug, I see the suits, but I see a thug. I see the charts, I see the debt, I see the printing and I see the Fed. I see the trillions of dollars and all of the commas they dumped on the top of our heads. I see Ukraine, I see the East, see politicians are having a feast. I see the homeless, I see them hungry, I see the tents are now lining the streets. I see the farmer, I see the fields, I see the drought, I see the yield. I see the lesson, I see the teacher looking for modern disciples to lead us. I see the feeding I see the ladies, I see abortion and I see the babies. I see the demons try to enslave us. I pray to Jesus, he will come save us. I see the jury, I see the plaintiff, I see the circus, I see entertainment. I see distractions they're putting in places. I see the deals while they're making arrangements. I see the crown, I see the thorns. I saw them play for his robe that was torn. I see the tongue is as sharp as a sword, ready to battle and fight for the Lord. I see the Father, I see the Son, I see that Jesus has only begun. I see the faithful, wait till he comes. He will not stop until he is won. I see the saints, I see the war, see principalities prowling the world. I see their loss, I see his game, but in the end they're proclaiming his name. I see forgiveness, I see the way, I see that he wants us to pray. Need to confess for the sin we commit, need to repent, need to obey. I see the grace, I see the mercy, I see the Lord comfort all who are hurting. I see the truth, I see the light, I see the Lord and all of his might.
Oh, you're muted, Troy.
There we go. I got it. Wow. Hell yeah. That's leaves me speechless, dude. That's just bob my head. And so before we start talking about videos and inspirations and whatnot, Freddie, lead us off here. Just give us a little background about yourself.
Yeah, man. Got into crypto. Most people probably know my story, but got into crypto little over 10 years ago and regret not going in harder earlier. Eventually, in 2016 and 17, I think it was 17, I found Richard Hart and kind of stuck with him. I liked what he had to say. There were a couple people that I found in that bull run in 16. Doug Polk was one of the guys that I listened to a lot, but Richard Hart was one of the other guys I listened to a lot. And just kind of stuck with him. I loved his videos. I loved what he had to say. He wasn't afraid to speak the truth, even if people didn't like it. And I'm glad I did, because I was able to get into Hex day one and just continue to dollar cost in. I was in the mortgage industry. I was in sales for 20 years. I did 10 years in the mortgage industry, selling mortgages, and that was awesome. That gave me the opportunity to ape into crypto during the last refi boom, when everyone else was getting their 2% interest rates. I was really able to take advantage of that, and that's how I was able to get my bags in Hex, and just kind of got lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, and I always tell everyone, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and I was prepared. I had learned through the previous bull cycles, and I had put myself in a position to have, expendable cash and had money coming in that I was able to invest into it. And I took the risk. There was only one other person, Hexagon 720, who took that risk with me on day one. I told tons and tons and tons of people about it before it launched. He was the only one that listened. He was the only one that went in. And to this day, obviously he's super, super grateful, and ready for round two here with Pulse. We got the bull market coming in, and it looks like it's going to be a fun 12 to 15 months here. This next year and a half is going to be a lot of fun.
Right? It's like we've been putting in our time,
Yep.
Damn, we're ready. All right, Mr. Troy, Devil Dog, how you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Yes, if you would, being Freddie's guest, it's a theme of the show. Not typically, I always ask if whoever's coming on as a guest, if they have not served in the military or has served in a first responder role or what have you, to bring on a guest that meets the billet, and for them to be open to share their story. Because for me, I want to learn about the people in the crypto communities as a whole in general. I feel that we are collectively a silent majority. We all know that there's a lot of veterans and first responders out there in the communities, but they just, these are the heroes of like what makes us do what we do, and the motivation. And I just want to highlight that and bring these people forward, such as yourself, and hear your stories. So without any further ado, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Troy, and I'm a veteran from the United States Marine Corps. I did 13 years and 11 months as a jet engine mechanic for F-18s. After while I was in, we did a lot of the NAE, the Marine Corps got to a point where we're like, we don't have any competition, so let's compete against ourselves. And the Naval Aviation Enterprise wanted to figure out, like, wanted to adopt something known as Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, where you use statistics to go ahead and predict the future, and then identify what aspects of the future you need to modify in advance in order to make a future that you actually want. And they wanted to, like, train people up to become that. So they did testing. They're like, hey, Navy, how long does it take you to build a jet engine? They're like, a week. And then they go to, like, the East Coast, the Marine Corps base, and like, how long does it take you to build a jet engine? And they're like, a day. And they go out to Japan, and they're like, how long does it take you to build a jet engine? And they're like, 4 hours. So they're like, okay, well, what are you guys doing 4 hours doing? And do we have aircraft falling out of the sky because of it? What are you guys in the Navy doing? And why is it taking you so long? And the idea was just kind of like taking all that together to find, like, the best way to do stuff until we got it down to, I think the record was an hour to build.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, like, that's the beauty of the concept of Lean Six Sigma. So I took that training, got out of the Marine Corps, and eventually worked for some banks and some hedge funds in the finance field because that's where the skills were most wanted. But it made me feel cheap. Like, I'd never gone from mom and dad's house to the military for so long and always, working and serving for a purpose that's bigger than myself. And then all of a sudden to start working for a company to make money, it just felt dirty. So I went back into federal service and joined Department of Homeland Security, where I'm very happy there. I've been there for about 5-6 years now. And I'm the lead for biometrics accuracy. So if you're getting through the airport quickly and you're
doing
not
something right,
yeah, and you're not accidentally being pulled to the side, then I'm doing my job right.
oh shit.
Yeah. You're in my team.
Oh, you're that guy. All right, good
I'm
to know.
that
Oh man, good shit. So briefly, today's topic: tips and tricks to off-ramp your wealth. We can share what works for you, what ideas you've seen that work, and I mean, we can go as detailed or as broad as anyone feels like. I'll briefly start off here. I know there's a way to one aspect for people is paying their bills via crypto, right? So I think like one is like Spritz. There might be a handful that are going to start coming up, what have you, but something to the effect like you create an account with XYZ, you send your crypto to it, and then you pay your bills out from there instead of sending the crypto or, converting it to USD, sending it to your personal bank. Well, now you're on the hook for the taxes and all of that. Where they're, so I haven't gone that route. I don't know if they're still required to like send a 1099 or something, if you go over X amount of dollars or what have you. So I don't know.
This is interesting. I've never heard of this before. Off-ramp crypto into your bank account in just one transaction.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sure there has to be some sort of tax implication there.
What's it called again?
So it's very interesting that this is the topic for today, and you've asked us and invited us to come on. I'm actually going through the process right now of correcting my status. And a lot of people have no idea what that means, but just to kind of give everyone a quick rundown, when you are born in the United States, you are born with a dual citizenship. You have a state citizenship that you are born with, and you are a citizen of the state that you're born in. For me, I was born in Virginia, so I have a Virginia state citizenship. I am a state national. And when you're born, your parents are given what's called a certificate of live birth. So that certificate of live birth, they can sign and send off to the federal government, and then they will issue you a social security number and a birth certificate. and that essentially registers you with the federal corporation that was established in 1871 after the Civil War, and it enters you into a federal citizenship of the Corporation of the United States of America, which is separate from the constitutional United States of America. It is an actual business that was established by the government, and when your parents sign that certificate of live birth, they are registering you into the federal citizenship as well. It's not mandatory. Most people believe that it is mandatory. And the farther I go down this hole and the deeper I go down this rabbit hole, the more I find out about it. And it's absolutely insane. The government doesn't want you to know your rights. The government doesn't want you to know what you're capable of and what you're allowed to do. They just want you to turn over that authority to them. And essentially, that's what happens when you get a birth certificate. You're turning the authority over to them. In short terms, they're establishing a trust. They are the trustee. You are the beneficiary of the trust. And that trust sits there until you come back to claim rightful ownership of that trust. I'm going through this process right now. I've had to go through a lot of paperwork, and it's not hard, but when you're just trying to figure it out and you've never been through it, I'm very lucky. There are a couple of Hexicans who have been through the process and who have been living in their corrected status for quite some time. They've gotten their new passports. You still have all of the same rights under the Constitution and Bill of Rights that the federal citizens have under the Corporation of the United States. But you are just a state national. You are a citizen of your state and the state only. And some of the benefits of that are that you are a foreigner to the Corporation of the United States. Well, if you're a foreigner to the Corporation of the United States, you don't have to pay income taxes to the IRS. The IRS is a federal mandate, and foreigners do not, if they do not earn income in the United States, they do not pay taxes on their capital gains or any income that they make in other countries. So it's very interesting that this is the topic for today, because I'm literally going through all of this today. I was at my county assessor's office today, and they're clueless. They have no idea what's going on. So they had to get their attorneys involved and all sorts of stuff when I went. So I've gotten my certificates of live birth. I've had them authenticated by the Secretary of the Commonwealth here in Virginia. I sent them off to the federal government, to the Secretary of State, and then they authenticated my certificates of live birth and a non-resident alien. That's exactly right, grounded in hex. So now I'm in the process of getting my certificate of live birth assessed, a tax assessed value to it. It is a deed. It is a documentation of title. And it is essentially a land deed as a Native American. And I know most people think, oh, you're not an Indian, or I'm not an Indian American. That's correct. But I am a Native American. I am a native to America. I was born in America as a state national. We have rights to the resources of the land. So your certificate of live birth, once authenticated, becomes a piece of the land, essentially. And the way that it's written in UCC law and all this other stuff, it's very complex. It's very deep. And a lot of this stuff, when I read it, I have to read it 4 or 5 times to comprehend exactly what's being said, because it's all in legal terms and banking terms, and it's very complex. But there are many benefits. I didn't really want to start talking about this until I completely got through the process, but I'm further along in the process now where I feel a little bit comfortable talking about some of this stuff. But it is definitely something that I believe that a lot of people are going to be able to benefit from within the community.
Yes,
absolutely insane.
Yes, and thank you for discussing this. You're echoing the same things that I have heard about this process as well. A lot of the organizations are like deer in the headlights when it comes to this, and but more and more as people are doing it, there is a path. You got to kind of make your own path and forage it. But it's kind of, it's a word of mouth type of thing. More and more that do it, what have you. Now, my question is, because you're basically giving up your right to be a U.S. citizen. Is that correct? Do you not have?
No, I'm not renouncing my citizenship. I'm correcting my status. There are multiple different statuses that you can have as a citizen and not give up your rights. Like I said, I'm to the point now where I can apply for my new passport as a state national, and essentially it's going to be the same type of passport as a diplomat would receive to the foreign governments. I'm not renouncing any type of citizenship. I'm literally just changing my status. There's different levels and categories of status as a citizen, and I'm changing it from one status to another, from a federal citizen to a state national, a non-resident alien, essentially.
Right.
But I still have my state citizenship. So technically I am still a citizen of the United States of America, just not the corporation of the United States, which was established in 1871 after the Act of 1871 after the Civil War.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So does that mean you don't have to pay like property taxes and this and that? Like you'll get that expunged off your...
Those are all, yep. So what happened was, after the Act of 1871, the federal district of Columbia, which is not a part of the United States, it's its own territory, just like London and just like Rome are, and they all work together, and there's a very specific reason that each one of them are designed that way. The Act of 1871 established a corporation for the United States of America. So it's literally a company, a business that was established. And what they did was they went and took the states and established 50 different corporations for each of the states: the state of Virginia, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of California. And they established businesses for those. And those are just essentially daughter companies under the parent company of the federal corporation of the United States. So the tax and IRS mandates are mandates from that corporation. So if I'm not a part of that corporation, I am foreign to that corporation. I am not required. If I'm not making money in the country, or under the jurisdiction of the federal corporation of the United States, then, so if I'm a foreign citizen, say I come here from the UK and I work here, technically I'm earning money in the United States, therefore I would have to pay taxes on it. But since I'm not making new money, I'm not employed by anyone, I'm allowed to, as a foreigner to the corporation of the United States, realize my capital gains without paying taxes to them, because I no longer fall under their jurisdiction. Does that make sense? If I had a job and I was working in the country, then I would be under their jurisdiction and have to have a tax liability. Now, I'm not an accountant. This is not tax advice. Everyone go speak and do your own research. And it's funny because a lot of accountants have no idea about any of this. A lot of attorneys don't understand any of this. Once you show them all of the UCC laws and all the different things and they dive into it, they're like, yeah, okay, what you're saying makes sense. But it's not common knowledge. They don't want people to know this because clearly it's going to take money out of their pocket. It gives them less power. It gives them less authority. They don't want that. They want all of the authority. They want control of you. That's not how the country was established, and we are here for our independent freedoms, and that's, I'm trying to exercise my rights to the fullest of their capabilities, and it's an interesting path to go down. But
yeah, for sure. So because let's say you're still going to be paying at a minimum your property taxes, then you have still the equal rights to call 911 and use those public services, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
Okay.
So it's funny there, and I just watched a video on this yesterday. There is a way to operate without going through and issuing your affidavit. So I'll just give a 40,000 foot overview real quick. Most rights are assumed, and if you and the state is going to assume that you are handing your rights over to them. So unless you file the proper paperwork stating, hey, no, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be, and you don't have the rights to that, those are my rights, I'm not going to forfeit those rights to you, then they are going to just assume that you want them to have their rights. Since I've entered into contracts with them with driver's licenses through the DMV, through with bank accounts and like all sorts of other different things, I'm opting into their system by filling out these contracts with them. There is a way to operate and still be able to receive the resources. I'm still learning this. I just started focusing on this yesterday. To be able to operate in the public, not in my private, and still have access to those if I wanted to. Now, if I operate in my private without entering into their public, then I'm sure that emergency services will help me, but I'm probably going to get a bill for them. So I'm trying to learn now how to get the best of both worlds. There is a way to do it. It's just a matter of having my documentation in proper order. Right.
No, sounds good. That is amazing. And we'll do due diligence, and we're definitely going to follow up on this because obviously it's a process. You're kind of just
as I get further in, I definitely want to keep everyone informed and kind of educate the community on what they can do and how they can best situation and position themselves to take full advantage of their God-given rights. Your rights don't come from the government. The government isn't here to give you the right to do something. Your licenses to driving is a term for commerce. You have the right to travel, and the right to travel is not limited to just on your 2 feet. You have the right to travel in a vehicle, interstate, state to state, without being harassed. And that literally means, and there's Supreme Court case law where it has been proven for people who have been pulled over, if you refuse. So the thing is that where they get you when you're traveling and when you're driving is that you have their license plates, you have their driver's license, you're entering into their jurisdiction by having those things. So simply by removing those things and traveling, having your documentation correct, they can't prevent you from driving on the roads. They're going to try to tell you that. They don't have any right to tell you that. They're going to try to tell you that, but there really isn't any precedent for that. And actually, there's Supreme Court case law that verifies your right to travel. You do not need a license. You do not need a license plate. You do not have to have their permission to travel. Driving is a commercial term. If you're doing it for business, you will need to be licensed. You do need to enter into that jurisdiction. So it's crazy because most police don't understand that. You can go on YouTube though and watch tons of videos of people getting pulled over, and it's like, am I being have I committed a crime? No. Okay, well, if I haven't committed a crime, am I being detained? Yes, you are being detained. Okay, well, why am I being detained? They have to have articulatable suspicion of a crime that you've committed, right? There's so many things. Like police officers, it's against the law for them to even turn on their lights and sirens unless they witness you commit a crime. And a traffic violation is certainly not a crime. Speeding ticket is certainly not a crime. So, and this has all been upheld in Supreme Court. Like these cases have gone to the Supreme Court and the citizens have won every time when they challenge the system. Most people don't want to challenge the system because it costs money and time, and most people don't have that. I'm lucky enough to have that. And as I get further down this process, once I get all my documentation corrected and everything the way that it needs to be, I definitely want to do some very in-depth streams on this, showing people what to do and how to get it done. But I don't want to take up your whole stream talking about this. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it. I do want to welcome Atto. Hope did I pronounce it correctly? Atto.
Yeah.
Atto. Hello and welcome. Hey, I hear you're a fellow Marine as well, Devil Dogs.
Good, thank you.
Welcome.
There you go,
welcome, brother.
Hoorah, Devil Dog.
Thank you. It's good to be on with you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Troy
and I go way back. Troy, I don't know how many years now.
A lot.
Were you guys in the service together?
No, we met while I was in though. That was like 2010, right? So it's almost 15 years. Almost.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Time flies.
2009, 2010. Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while.
What did you do in the service, Otto?
So I was in logistics, what we used to call like a box kicker, right? I did that for a few years, and then for my last 6 years, I was in for 12 years. My last 6 years, I was in contingency contracting, and so we were like the forward deployed folks. Whenever we deployed, to a given theater, we're the ones doing the contracts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for the Marines overseas. So yeah, did that for a little bit, 12 years and all. Then I got out in 2005, stayed with the DoD at the Defense Threat Reduction Agency here for Belvoir, keeping watch over America's nuclear stock weapons and so on and so forth, and helping businesses, teach them how to get U.S. federal government contracts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
it.
thing. That's a process. Yeah. Navigating the landmines in that field. Jeez. Yeah. For sure. So, gentlemen, if you would, whoever would like to lead, just give us a brief overview of Ash Token, what it is, what it's about, where are you guys in the process, and what are your plans?
Otto, if you don't mind leading, go for it.
Okay, sure thing. And so I'm relatively new in the world of crypto. Troy would tell you. I think for about 5 years straight, Troy was trying to get me to get into crypto. I'm like, what the heck is crypto, Troy? Right?
At least 5.
And Troy would tell me it's virtual ledger, is this, is that, is this, and it's a coin, and is this. I'm like, it's a coin. Well, where's the coin? How can I get my coin? He said, well, it's virtual. And so it never really made sense to me, right? Until I think it was early 2021, spring of 2022, actually, right? No, spring of 2021, when Bitcoin was on its rise, right? And Troy came again and said, Otto, I think we should do crypto. And I said, okay, Troy, let me see, let's give it a shot, right? And so we gave it a shot. We put some money into the crypto space, and I think about 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks later, we had made quite a bit of money. And I was like, wow, this thing is real, Troy, right? But as we all know, the volatility of the market and the ecosystem is just, you got to have a big heart, a strong heart. And so I said, hey, it's great, but with all the volatility, it's hard for me to stomach. Now, that's a segue into the Ash token or the Ash DAO and why that exists. It exists because in a different company opportunity that Troy and I are involved in called GCS Fibers, which is a manufacturing company that cleans the environment. It takes coal ash. GCS Fibers takes coal ash, which is generated from coal, right? And we're able to convert this coal ash into something called mineral fiber or pulp. For those of you know about paper and things like that. Now, this pulp that we make, or this fiber that GCS Fibers makes from coal ash, is non-flammable, right? Fire retardant, heat resistant, up to like 4,000 degrees, Fahrenheit, from coal ash. And this thing can be used to make automobiles, right? Airplane parts, right? Building construction, insulation, textiles, the whole nine. And so we had difficulties raising the last bit of the funding that we needed for this innovation, right? For this company, GCS, that Troy and I are both involved in. Here we are with a manufacturing project that is green, that is applicable throughout, the global market, right? Because everyone has coal. Everyone is using coal for electricity, for steel mills, pulp mills. But yet, after raising $14 million, we needed just $2.5 million to go, and we couldn't get it, right? And so we said, hey, we got to find a different way, right, to raise this money. We have to find a different way. hedge funds, the private equity firms, angel investors were all kind of snobbing, or they want the whole company. You go to a traditional bank, they say you got to have 5-year financial, 3-year financials, show your profit stream, your revenue stream. We don't have that as a startup. So what is a startup to do? And so we figured if we can get into the crypto space and create a platform, we want to solve this problem for companies that have breakthrough technologies but can't get funding, right? How do these companies get by? How do they get their technology or innovation to market? Okay, so that is what led us into the crypto space. And in thinking through that, we ended up with the Ash Environmental DAO, and our first token being the Ash token. That's a platform that seeks to provide funding in the form of grants to environmentally focused or positioned companies who have innovations that are scalable around the world, right? Across the globe. In exchange for funding from the Ash token of the Ash DAO, they in turn bring up to 20% of their profits to buy Ash tokens each year, and they hold it for 5 years. And so the Ash token was created, or the Ash DAO was created not to just have a mere coin, but to create an ecosystem that can facilitate, right, the commercialization of groundbreaking innovations, right, especially in the environmental space. So that's what we've got. That's what the Ash token is all about. Helping to clean up the environment, developing economies, creating jobs, right, and delivering, first-class, high-quality products to the marketplace. So that's the functional side and reason for the existence of the Ash token. All right, Troy, anything to add there, Troy?
Yeah, I'd say you did say like annually, but it's more like quarterly or monthly. And the thinking there is that if we could have that constant, if we could create something from all the projects that I'm familiar with, and once again, my background in analytics, when I sit there, I remember when I met Freddie the first time and I was asking about Hex, and I was like, well, how does this coin, like, what's it doing to bring in, money? Like, what's the mechanism for the value going up? And I see now, like, a lot of it was to, when people get in, they put it in, they stake it, put it in ladders, and then that exercising that most the attribute most closely associated with success in people, which is delayed gratification. Richard Hart found a way to use that as a means of recruiting people that have that ability, right? And put them in a situation where they're at the foundational level, which gives a system support. And then you need people. I think what is his name? Adam Smith, the father of economics. He calls people who constantly spend money relentlessly spender buggers, right? And then you need the spender buggers to come in and out and create that kind of flow and move it around and create that volatility. So I thought, like, well, that's a good system for getting it up. At the same time, you still need either new people to come in at all times, or at some point you're going to have to start generating some kind of equality, right? You need to be providing a service, or you need to be providing a product where this coin is being used as a medium of exchange. Otherwise, it's not going to, it can't pick up steam and just keep moving. And I recognize that in a lot of tokens, right? You either have to continually grow it with new people coming into it, or at some point you need to create something like a Uniswap. You need to create like flash loans. You need to create video games. You need to do something to keep people coming for more to utilize it. And we figured, why not create a system that, one, addresses the problem where the gateholders or the gatekeepers of technology are typically people who already have large amounts of wealth. And it's likely that some companies will come in and buy up your patent just so that technology never hits the market. Then they shelve it, right? So they could keep their product, right?
Like the water car. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And Tesla's Tesla, not Tesla today, Tesla, the inventors, a lot of his patents were all purchased up and then hidden away to say, don't do this. So we thought, why not? And then given the trouble that we had raising the money, like Otto mentioned, a lot of VCs, a lot of investors, they were trying to find ways to trick us out of our own technologies. Right. Yeah. Like put in like weird clauses or asking for too much equity or whatever the case is, because their goal is obviously to do a hostile takeover once they've gotten enough shares, and then, sell it to the highest bidder and then walk away from it. And I think the people who are most who may not be best suited to run their companies, but would definitely run their companies in a way that's most ethical, are the inventors, because they had the passion and the desire to do it when it was a problem and nobody else understood how to fix it. So if we create a system that allowed, and that's the key, that it's a grant. If we create a system that we have a method of voting for token holders to decide which projects will come on board, and then have an objective group. We're thinking 2-3 groups of teams that function like venture capitalists to go ahead and evaluate ideas that make it past like the initial vote of the team, so they're not just getting flooded with bogus ideas. And then they can go ahead and grade this and then bring it back to the community for a final vote to say, hey, look, it got a score of this based on this very public and obvious rubric to say, here are all the things that we look for. And do we want to fund them? And if we fund those projects, then as they meet milestones, more of those tokens are released to them. And when they do, so it just guarantees that they will get started. And once they are started, then only when they turn a profit, like this is something you're going to see from a bank. And I feel like the community, the Ash token community, from the moment they've agreed to fund them, have pretty much written off those funds, because not every 9 out of 10 businesses fail, but hopefully we're going to be more successful than 9 out of 10, given we've got they won't have the problems that most businesses are having, which is liquidity, funds to operate. Right. So we could get them to operations, and then once they make a profit, that profit is what is then used to, and only if they make a profit, is what's used to start paying back over that 5-year period the initial grant that they were given. If they don't make a profit, or if they fail, we're not coming after them like a bank and drying everything up and destroying people's credit scores and all that other jazz, right? But if they are successful, then we've kind of put them in a situation where they're forced savings. So in those 5 years, or each quarter, each month that they're purchasing the Ash token, they're accumulating voting power. So they're able to help decide what are the other companies that they want to come on board. And then the incentive here is that they want to choose companies that are going to be as successful as possible. And if, let's say that you are Motorola and you recognize that this company is the next Apple, who cares, right? Like, their success is your success. So now you don't have companies in the same field trying to put down or destroy the other companies, because if you have this voting power because you were voted in earlier, then any company that comes afterwards, their success simply means greater success for yourself. And after that 5-year period comes, where their tokens start to unlock, they could sell them off, or they could go ahead and use that money to reinvest and grow their companies greater, because instead of having debt, they have greater liquidity. Now this cash windfall plus the maturity of the token over that time, and and it would be kind of, what I've also found most fascinating is, like, one day I was looking at the market and I saw that everything was down except for Hex. And I was like, how the heck is that even possible? Like, what is it tied to, right? Like, because everything's tied to Bitcoin except for Hex apparently. And I'm starting to see now with like Pulse Chain and the movement of all the DAI, right? That it would have been like tied to like DAI or something else, right? This thing could function that way too, because each quarter or each month when those companies, and as it grows, when it's just one company, not a big deal. that company is successful, another company comes in. You've got two companies. You go fast forward a decade, and now you've got 45 companies. And these 45 companies, they don't care what the price is. They're obligated to purchase in each month or each quarter at whatever 10% or 20% of their profits are. And that means, like very good tokenomics. So in doing so, we allow the founders to maintain, to give them the option if they want to stay in control of their companies. If they choose to sell, it's not because they've been strong-handed. They may find that the fun part was setting it up and running it is no fun and they want out. So,
Right.
Yeah, so that's a thing. And it also creates a kind of another kind of business, because if you are a big token holder, then you also have the ability to do a kind of side gig where you can go ahead and launch other projects. You could set up a front end where you're acting like a VC, but you don't have to spend your own funds. You could get them past the initial threshold to get voted in and have the community take a look at it. And then in doing so, hopefully those are good actors and they're not like, I want 51% of the company to make this happen. Right. They maintain the ethos, but I mean, that's still another side of it.
Yeah, most definitely. And now what chain are you working on this? Is this for specifically right now?
We were originally launched on the Binance chain because the fees were just significantly cheaper, and the Pulse chain had not existed yet.
Yeah.
Now Pulse chain fees are way cheaper, and I've been trying to convince Otto that that's where we should go ahead and launch, because I think
working on that.
Yeah, I think that's where it's where the future is.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure if when you're ready to, like, they'll get, anybody here can get you probably in touch with the right people to get you the details to get dialed in on the Pulse chain side, if and when you so desire to come on over to the world of DeFi.
What are the fees looking like right now on the Binance chain compared to Pulse chain?
Yeah,
10x
fees
higher, 100x higher.
All right, so what is it? You're looking at 1,000 Pulse is roughly 10 cent. Is that it, or a penny? How's it go? Or
yeah. Let me do the. I don't even know what the price is. I've been disconnected. We are at Pulse is 3 zeros and a 12. So 1 million Pulse, 1,000 Pulse would be about 12 cents.
Yeah, so 1,000 Pulse is 12 cent. So you're looking at
12 cents.
Yeah, so you would need to pay 2,000 Pulse to be at roughly around 25 cent for a transaction on the Binance Smart Chain. But a transaction on Pulse Chain is only about like 32 Pulse. So the number is just so much smaller. it's incredibly cheaper. Yeah, whatever 2,000 divided by 32 is, I think that's about how much cheaper it is.
Right.
62.5 times cheaper.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
cheap.
No, it's an interesting concept, man. Is there a white paper out yet on this? Is it
Yeah, if you
development?
go to ashtoken.io,
Okay.
we've got the page there, and we've got the deck and the white paper also.
And what was it again? Ash what?
Ashtoken.io.
Ishtoken.io.
Gotcha. And feel free, you're a mod, you can put it in the chat
Okay, great, thanks.
for the peeps at home. There you go.
Is anyone having trouble loading the page?
Actually, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was a little sluggish, but yeah.
Yep, I got an error.
Oh,
I did as well.
All right, I'll take another look at the site. Terrible timing.
Yeah, that's all right. But, you know, I was about to recommend like Hex Scout just a little bit ago, and like Hex Scout is down. I think Alex was saying there's been some API issues, just overall affecting a broad myriad of websites. And I don't, you know,
Is that Hex Scout?
Yeah, Hex Scout is down for me as well.
yeah. So there might be something globally or something going on. I that's the extent that I'm aware of. If anybody in the chat knows anything, but there's something's going on. So, not to look negatively on you, there's something funky going on in the world of cyber. Oh wait, aren't you a cyber guy? Wait, no.
I am. I'm literally logging into AWS right now.
Yeah. Is it a green light or red light? You know, like,
That's funny.
dude, I get shit all the time because I clump like IT people together. You know, my peeps are like, you know, hey, you know, so and so is an IT, and like, no, he's like a manager of projects and this and that. Like, you know, no, I'm not a developer or coder. And, you know, I guess there's differences.
I like to keep it easy and lump them all together, but you know, that's what I used to do.
I'm not the only one. All right.
Yeah, Otto makes some pretty crazy requests. He'll be like, well, what about this? And then I'm like, well, that's a network engineer. How about that? I was like, that's cybersecurity. Well, okay, that's where I can do the developing part.
I'm like, hey, it's all IT, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
guys,
yeah.
you gotta forgive me here. I'm doing the call from the car, and it keeps getting darker and darker outside. So it might get to a point where you only see my sleeves. Okay, so that's
No
why
worries,
I keep
man.
disappearing on you.
Yes, no worries, man.
Yeah, but I'm still here.
I got you. No worries. No worries. But yeah, so on any other day, ashtoken.io. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
you know, guys, for us, it's a bigger a priority for us, right? To also bring crypto to the everyday person. Bring it out of the the everyday crypto ecosystem, because these companies that we are funding, right, that are coming for funding, are companies that have factories, have operations outside of the crypto ecosystem, right? So imagine a factory being set up by GCS Fibers, and there's a sign that says this factory funded by the ASH token, right? People are going to wonder, what is the ASH token? And so that's also a benefit that we see we providing to the to the larger ecosystem, right? Bringing crypto to the everyday person, making it more practical, right? So that more and more people can understand crypto and hopefully participate in the ecosystems.
Yeah, that's the overall goal, is
That's it.
adoption and making it as easy as possible for people to understand.
Normalize it.
The more people we get in, the better it is for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yes, and that overall is like the premise of this platform is, just to try and like we're like, in general, there's a lot of like-minded individuals. We share a commonality, being military, first responders, etc. It doesn't matter, what you like, this or that. We share goals. We want to, some might be in it for the tech, others for, price, performance, and whatnot. So, but overall, we can come together and work through and share ideas and collaborate and make things better collectively. And we're all kind of fighting the uphill battle with against the SEC and trying to get regulation and adoption and a course of direction. Some guidance would be nice. So the struggle is real, and hopefully on the US side, money doesn't continue outflowing offshore because we're scaring them away with all the BS that's going on. I mean, we're not handling innovation very well. We're scaring people and money off.
Yeah, there was another case that was dismissed yesterday. I believe it was without prejudice. The SEC just has their heads up their behinds. They're just throwing crap against the wall to see what sticks. And one of the greatest things that's come from this are all of the other people from the crypto community who have kind of, even if they don't like Richard or if they can't stand Hexicans, have taken a stand and kind of stood with the community here, which is awesome. You love seeing that.
Yep.
But it's definitely one fight that we have against everyone going on right now, and everyone's coming together for it. It's super cool to see that throughout crypto.
Good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, Freddie, Revelations. Take us through that. What was how'd you come to it? How long did the project take? Editing? Just a brief synopsis on that all.
Yeah, man. So there's like a big story behind it, and I'll try to keep it short because I don't want to take up all the time here. But I felt it's crazy, man. Like all of the music that I write, I try for all of my music to have a purpose. Like I don't like a lot of rap out there, a lot of music. It's just, you know, what rhymes with what's clever, what sounds funny, what's good. But I prefer the music to have a message and a purpose. And with some of my tracks, When You Come Home, and then the Hexagon Anthem, and then Furu's Eulogy, I definitely had a purpose for all of those. And I hadn't written anything crazy in a while. I'd done some tracks and recorded with different people, and Black Hexagon and a bunch of other people. And Oliver Anthony came out with that song, Richmond, North of Richmond. And I was on my way to go camping, actually with Axis and his girl and my wife and my son. And my wife and my son and I were driving in the car, and it was like a 2.5-3 hour drive to get to the campground where we needed to get to. And I was watching Glenn Beck do commentation on Oliver Anthony on Joe Rogan. So he was commenting on an interview of Oliver Anthony with Joe Rogan, and he paused it, and he was talking about one of the things that Oliver Anthony had said. And one of the biggest insults that you can do is to hear God's voice and not act on it, or to ignore your calling. And it kind of hit me. I was like, oof, because for months I'd been called, and I've always been in my faith. Like I was born and raised in the church. I'm in church on Sundays. I try my hardest to do the best that I can, and I make mistakes every day, and I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, and that's why I need Christ in my life. But I had been going through some transitions to where, like, even people I had beef with in the community for a while, mostly just kinetics. Like Toby had tried to get him and I to come to the table to talk, just to kind of squash things and get together. And I had watched a month prior or so a video about forgiveness and different things, and like it was just really weighing on my heart heavy, and like I felt God pulling me in some direction. I didn't know what he wanted me to do, but I felt like before I could do anything, I needed to get right with the people who I had squabbles with or whatever. So Kinetics and I got together, and we talked last summer, and kind of worked through some of our stuff. And both of us, we still don't agree with everything, and we maybe never will, but he's a brother in Christ, and even if we don't agree, we can agree that that we love God, and we want to try to work as hard as we can and improve ourselves in our faith, and I have a lot of respect for him for that. So went through all that took a few weeks to unpack with him and to go through back and forth through messages and stuff, and I felt good about it. And I felt like God was calling me to do something, and I didn't know what, but I knew that I had to at least get right and on the same page with Kinetics first. And I did that. And then after that happened, I felt him calling me, and I was like, well, should I be doing music? Does he want me to write music? And I just didn't know. And then when I heard that interview with Joe Rogan and Oliver Anthony, and then Glenn Beck was commenting on it, talking about it, like it just hit me in the gut, and it was like a gut punch. Like, dude, he's been telling me to write this whole time, and I've just kind of been blowing it off because I didn't know if it was something I wanted to do selfishly or if it was something he wanted. So this was on a Friday night. We were camping out in the woods all weekend. We get back on Tuesday of that next week. I dropped my son off at school that morning, and I'm driving down my street, and I'm about to pull into my driveway, and I just get this feeling, and it's like I don't know if anyone's ever gotten the feeling where you feel like God's calling you to do something. And like, maybe it's like you're driving and you take a turn down a different road you're not supposed to go down and you avoid an accident or something crazy like that. I don't know. But I got this feeling and I was like, okay, so I don't want to ignore this feeling because, you know, that's what I've been doing. And I think I've just been blowing God off and he wants me to do something. So I literally sat there and I backed into my driveway and I'm sitting there in my Jeep and I'm like, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, I'm going to go inside right now. I'm going to pick out a beat and I'm going to write and just guide my pen. If this is what you want me to do, if this is what you're calling me to do, then I'm going to do it. I'm getting goosebumps just even telling the story. It's crazy. So I go inside and I have a bunch of beats that I've saved in my phone that I text to myself to keep them. So I go through my voicemail, through my text messages, and I'm looking through beats and I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. Boom. And I pull it up and I pull out some paper and like instantly, like it just started coming out. It just started flowing. And like the first couple lines, I see the themes, I see his scheme, or I see the themes, I see his dreams, I see the devil in all of his schemes. And like, I didn't even think, I just started writing and it literally came out. And this may sound really weird to a lot of people, but like when I write, like it's hard. Like writing is tough. Like when you're trying to make everything make sense and have it rhyme and then have an impact. And it just started coming out. And I was like, oh man, okay, cool, boom, boom, boom. And like to the point where I could literally feel the message being put into my brain for me to write it. It's like I almost didn't even write the lyrics. I felt like they were just given to me. Like there was a message that he wanted out there. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. And it's funny because I've told this story to some other people and they've likened it to the gospel, you know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and how a lot of it was divinely inspired through them and they were able to write it. And obviously they saw it and they lived it and they you know, experienced it firsthand. At least most, two of them did. And it was just very interesting, man. And usually it takes me time to write the songs, but I sat down and I had the song completely finished in just about 24 hours, man. In and out, got it done. My wife came home. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm working on something awesome right now. And I was like super excited. Like I knew it was really good. And like, I'm sitting here just going through the bars in my head and I'm biased. I love my music. And a lot of the times I make music because I think a lot of the music today is garbage. And I don't like listening to a lot of the music that's out there. So I'll listen to music that I like to listen to. And, I was like, I'm on to something here, man. And then I called up my buddy Chris, who I do all my recording with. And I'm like, hey, bud, I got something here and I think it's really good. And he was like, all right, come on through tomorrow. So went, recorded it, got it done really quickly. Just took about an hour and a half to record. And then I was like, man, okay, if I'm going to do this right, I need to do it right. And I reached out to different people to see if they could get a music video done for me. And then after not getting the response that I was looking for, I was just like, okay, God, I'm listening to your calling. Maybe I just need to go downstairs. So I came down into my studio here and I just started looking for videos. And I found all the videos and I pieced them together. I made the music video and then got everything put up through DistroKid, and it's out on Spotify and Apple Music and you know, YouTube Music, all that stuff. So distributed it the right way, and then took a couple days for it to get distributed out to everyone. But when it went out, I dropped the music video, and it kind of came out, man. But it was really just divinely inspired. Like I don't know, man. I've gotten really good reception from it from a lot of people, and hopefully it's doing something good.
Like there's at least one or two famous people that retweeted it, picked it up.
Yeah, that's
yeah, man. There's the Hodge twins retweeted it, which was really cool. Right. You know, they've got what, 2 million subscribers, so for them to retweet that was pretty cool. And oh, who was it? Is it?
There was a country guy, I thought.
Travis Tritt, maybe?
Right?
Or
yeah.
No,
somebody.
Who's the guy from Big and Rich? The guy from Big and Rich retweeted it on Truth on Trump's social media, and he's got multi-million followers over there.
Well, yeah, his name is Rich somewhere.
Yeah, John Rich. John Rich. But yeah, dude, it was really cool, man.
Here's the link for
guy,
it.
Who's the students for Trump guy? Hold on, he's on here. He hit me up about it and was like, dude, this is really good. Can I share this on my socials? Fournier. What's his name? Oh, what is that guy's name?
But hey, real quick, Otto has to bounce and get to another meeting. I want to say thank you, sir, for joining us and sharing your project with us today. And Semper Fi, and until next time.
All right, very well. Hey, it's been great. Yes, nice meeting you all.
Brother.
And we'll see how we can hop on that pulse chain. Okay.
Yeah.
All
you got it. You got it. Take care.
Everyone.
Be well.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you, Otto.
Very cool, man.
Yeah,
Good deal.
Good guy.
All right. So I'm gonna go back old school here real quick and play a video because I can. So here we go.
You are going to either get a cease and desist order.
Wait. I gotta unmute the tab.
Great.
or
And
get
then
in
I'll
hand-
cease and desist.
I think really Hex is having a negative impact on his confidence in this.
Confirms your scam that this is a
So if people exchange their
mind pump and dump bullshit that I thought were the only thing I'm amazed about, and the thing I give you a bit of credit for, that is if you found enough morons.
The rise of smart contracts has actually led to a variety of much more sophisticated looking Ponzi and pyramid schemes.
Currency scam is called Hex and offers 40% interest.
I've been seeing a ton of comments asking my thoughts on Hex. And I do agree, it is bullshit. It is trash. It is a scam.
Sorry, Rich, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Alright, I'm through with waiting. I lost my fucking patience. Excuse my language, these furus have got me nauseated. While they continue hating, their ignorance is blatant. We keep setting record highs cause we ain't fucking playing. I could name names, but they'll remain nameless. Why give shine to a bunch of dudes that made arrangements to boost views and followers through their paid engagement? 200,000 fans with 5 likes, they're fake famous. You think you sound smart? We're fucking sick of you. Keep on using big words, pretending that you're critical. Pay attention and be careful what they feeding you. Fake gurus keep feeding you shit on social media. You know you telling lies, but you still do it. Afraid to go against the grain because you'll lose influence. The truth is, all you care about is views, and while you're YouTubing, your viewers will listen because they're too stupid. And the ones who made you, expecting you to stay true and do what's in their best interest because they join your paid group. They do whatever you say just to make gains, but it's too big a risk to pick up pennies from the freight trains. We ain't gonna listen, so fuck your kook opinion. A bunch of villains getting murdered from the old dominion. I told you motherfuckers pay attention, we was winning, but now your time is up. For me, this is just the beginning. And now my only mission, to break the algorithm and take control and show the rest of crypto what they're missing. Already made my riches, so now the rest should listen. Sit down, bitches, it's time to review your definitions. You missed the boat, you shit the bed. You're fucking retarded comparing Hex to Big Connect. Didn't do your homework and now you're awestruck. One was vaporware, but Hex is a finished product. Stop it, drop it, just admit that you flop, bitch. Freddie Quotes is back on my shut him down, open up shop shit. Don't give a fuck about your feelings if you got hit. I'm going all in, I'm thinking you should go to Nomics. Why don't you step down, make way for the new kids? We on the block, Richard Hart's on some new shit. Bought my mom a new car, you riding in your mom's whip. $1 million crib, I can show you how to floss, bitch. Before I even started, already knew we won. You get the unfiltered truth, cause I don't need the front. Subscribe below because I need to buy food for my son. I don't need to rap, bitch, I do this for fun. We be setting record highs, you gon' run and hide, promoting lies, completely miss the magic carpet ride. Mad that you broke and we all got rich. I done cashed out mega millions, jackpot, bitch. We follow Richard to the promised land. You still follow promise coins, buying earmuffs to block out all the noise. Pulse about to blow, you should sit tight. Only Richard, you likes getting crammed down your windpipe. Never been hacked, never down for a second. No matter how hard these furu clowns try to affect it. Never have to question if I said it, just respect it. We're effective, Hex is here to stay. I think you get the message. And CMC can gatekeep, we don't give a fuck. It goes to Hex hating bitch, they can lick our nuts. And to the rest of these bitch hoes that tiptoe, I'ma continue to rip throats. Freddie Quotes, the best rapper in crypto.
It's crazy to see that now because it's the exact opposite of Revelations. Like they're two completely different songs. Like one, I'm literally dancing on someone's casket, dropping F-bombs. Like it's very dark.
They're both good.
Man,
Very
it might
dark,
have been
very
before it. It may have been before its time. Oh God. Well, he's good too. He's
Yeah,
a good
man.
guy too. But anyways,
That's funny, bro.
oh yeah.
One really cool thing that came from that, everyone flew in, and it was like on my birthday, and we took this picture. Everyone flew in the night before, and everyone went out, and it was awesome. It was awesome. This was at the peak. It was literally the week that we shot that music video, the day that Hex peaked. And like it was literally the top of the market. Like I get it. People give me a hard time over that. I made the top.
Oh.
It is what it is. I don't care. Like I had fun. It was my birthday. It was literally on my birthday too. So everyone flew in. We had this big party. All the influencers were here. And then the next day we shot the music video, and then had a big party at my house afterwards. And you know, everyone who was there in the video was here, and it was just such a good time, man. Getting to meet all those guys, and you know, we were on top of the world because literally Hex was like, you know, over 50 cents, and there was a lot of ego going on, but
Yeah.
but it was fun. We had a good time. We learned from it, and it's crazy. Like I've actually developed a friendship with Eric Wall because of it. And I've hung out with him in person. He invited me up to his party in New York. So Amber and I went up there last year and had a blast. Got to meet BitBoy at his party, and a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. I met some really cool people, and what's that guy? Crypto Mason. One of the pictures was blurred out in the video. Him and I had a conversation, and I've talked with him about it.
Oh,
and,
that's right. Yeah.
Yep. I told him I'd remove him from the thing because, you know, he's cool, and, you know, he shows love to the community and this and that. And so, yeah, it's cool. It's been an experience. It's definitely been an experience, but it's been fun.
To say the least. To say the least. All right. Any parting words, Troy?
No, I just want to say thank you, gents, for having me here. Freddie,
thank you.
A great friend from the day we met, and it's great to be on your stream. It was great seeing you out there in Vegas. Looking forward to hanging out again in the future.
Right. All I can say is Candace cannot speak enough about you and your family and everything you do. And so, yeah, man, mad props, man. Mad props.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. You know, F my outro. I'm gonna pull a Freddie outro, and gonna take it out. Where can people find you, Freddie, at?
Twitter, mostly just Twitter. That's pretty much the only place I'm at. YouTube, but I don't really do too much streaming. Occasionally we'll do a steak and bake where we get people on there, but been trying not to smoke and drink as much lately. Just trying to get my clarity in and get focused in on priorities and stuff like that. But yeah, at _ Freddie Quotes _ and if I could say something about Troy, the first time I met Troy, or maybe I guess the first time was at Amber, my wife's birthday party, when we did the wine tour on the bus, and I didn't get to really meet you that day, or get to have a conversation with you. But the second time we went out on Jay and Andrea's boat, and we get on the boat and we start talking instantly about crypto, and I'm like, oh, this dude's a crypto guy. This is awesome. And like, we literally,
I was like they don't exist. I found one.
Right?
Yeah, there's another person. So it was my wife and I, and then Troy and his wife, and then a couple of our other friends on this boat. I think was Axis and Candace there that day, or was it just you guys? I think
they
it
were
was just
there.
you guys.
They
were
were
there.
Yep.
And we
maybe not.
I don't think
not
they
Axis.
were, dude.
Not
Yeah,
Axis, but Candace was.
Candace was there, yeah. So and Troy and I, like, I had seen him at the one time where we had kind of partied on this, you know, wine tour for a day or whatever. But there was a lot of people there that day, so I didn't get any one-on-one time with Troy. So I knew who he was, but I didn't know him.
Right.
And from that moment that he stepped onto that boat, man, like we just kind of hit it off, and it's awesome. Troy is in the top 3 smartest people I've ever met in my entire life, and there's times where I like to challenge him, and he's so smart, and he's so open, and he's so good at what he does, because even when I'm like challenging his thoughts and his beliefs, he doesn't react like I would and like I do. He sits there, absorbs it, takes it in, thinks about it, and then you know, and it won't always even be in that instance. Like we'll just continue the conversation, and then he'll later come back to me like, oh this or oh that or this or that. But like he's just so intelligent on so many levels, and I hold Troy to such a high regard that I really wish and hope that and I no pressure. This isn't to shill you to come to Pulse Chain or anything like that, but you are such a good person in so many ways and in so many levels and in so many areas. You help me grow as a person in so many levels. You would be a huge asset to this community, bro. And like, I hope selfishly that you don't, because I want to tap you for as many resources as I possibly can as a friend and intellectually and on so many different levels, that if you come into the community, I know everyone's going to be wanting your time, and it's probably going to take away from what I can extract from you. But yeah, man, I really appreciate everything that you've done, Troy. You're an amazing friend and an amazing person beyond that. And I'm glad to call you a friend, and I'm glad you came on, man. I'm glad that people got to kind of see your story, and now we're going to post it out there for the world to see.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Vets, from day one, you have always been very, very open and very cool with me, and we don't agree on everything, and you know, we do different things, but we're always still amicable and friends, and I hold you with a very high level of regard, and I respect you very much, brother, and thank you for your service and everything that you've done, and you're an asset to this community, man. And I don't think people understand how freaking cool you are, dude. And we've hung out together, we've partied together, we've gone to brunch together, and we've done all those things and that we do in person, and it's awesome, man. And you know, I love you like a brother as much as I can. For some people that I've met a few times hanging out at community events and Chicago, not just Vegas, but Chicago. And were you in
Big K event? And we went to Chicago Cubs game, and there's a handful.
Dude, that was
of
so
them.
much fun.
Yeah.
God, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Were you in? Did you do Daytona too?
Yeah, I was at Daytona 500.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was fun, man. God, we've done some cool things together, bro. Like it's crazy, man. But
it's been a trip.
Yeah, man. But I really do appreciate your friendship, and I'm very grateful to be able to call you a friend, brother.
Likewise. Nice poster in the back there. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I saw yours too, man. I was like, oh. I got my See, I don't have. You've got your highest estate set up. I still have mine in my box. You can see the box right there, but I haven't pulled. I don't know how I want to display it yet, because I want to set it up. It's such a beautiful display, man. Like the whole thing looks really good.
Like a lot of people are like, I don't even want to open it, or I'm leaving it the way it is, or you know, like I got. I got my box right here, you know.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. I want to see if or find a way to display it in the box, because it looks so good in the box. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I know you want to go. I know you gotta go. But like,
I'm good.
My address and stuff. But like, even the box that it came in is like legit.
Right. What's your number? What are you at?
199 of 555.
Oh,
but it comes with like the director's handbook and like like all this really cool stuff, and then behind that, and then behind that it's got, you know, the soundtrack. And
I have not opened that. Like some things I'm keeping sealed. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like the whole box itself is like a work of art, and like I don't know.
The presentation, you know, was like, come on, man, like, and all of this, like the watches, like, bro, like you're waiting 2 years, you place an order for something, and it's like 2 years later. Between the, you know,
so Sai did a really cool thing. Like even my letter from the highest of stakes, like they wrote me this really cool like handwritten message, and you know, thanking me and all this other stuff for being a host and all. They're just class people, man. Really cool people.
It's good. What are your thoughts on Thos 2, and whether it's with the same guys or maybe a different crew or whatever?
Yeah, I think
I know it's
well, obviously they're gonna have Mike, right, and they're gonna have RG probably. Big K will probably. I don't know why he wouldn't. It'll probably be like a bunch of the same guys. There'll probably be more people. I think it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be expensive. They do have a lot of film still that they'll be able to use. I think RG said on Effin' Hangout a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, that was like $3.5 million I think that it cost to do the first one. So that was a really big price tag, and I'm hoping that they will be able to get something that doesn't cost as much.
Right.
I just know that it was super expensive.
Well, green candles help with a lot of that. So
green candles do help. The bull market tremendously helps that.
I think the quality was pretty good though. Like there was nothing about the movie that seemed like it was B-rated. It was just quality work.
Yep.
That it was.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Super cool, man. I think it'll be really good. Whatever they do, whatever they have in store, it's going to be top notch. They're just grade A professionals.
Yeah. All right, gents. Anything else? Otherwise, thank you very much for your time today. And until next time, appreciate it. Let's get this. Let's see. We'll send it out on a hex anthem here.
Nice.
That's the way to go.
Change my username. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere. Richard Hart bracket. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere bracket. That's fucked up, right? And I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scam. Everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard, yeah, he's a scammer.
Call it a scam. Nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Mexicans. ICOs, pump and dumps, they always try to take you. Buy low, sell high, I'm tired of your fake news. You need a token, you broken, you wanna see some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model wife, cash and chains. Look no further at your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest. Stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is X. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Mexicans. Your investments are safe, it's got defenses. A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody is hating. Hex is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research, don't listen to me though. It's complete, it can't be changed. Hex is finito. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Mexicans. The game has changed, ain't no going back now. Dummies that called Hex a scam can back down. I hope you understand, I pray that you follow me. You owe the entire Hex family an apology. And stay sober, cash out, the game's over. Hex is here for the market cap takeover. Buckle up, we about to be full throttle. With multiple auditors where we get paid to hodl. We got the game smothered, sisters and brothers, with no expectation of the work from others. It's complicated, I know that there's a lot to this. For your daily Hex updates, tune to Hexologists. What's up, guys?
Hex is like nothing that you ever been through. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the pumpamentals. If you like what you hear by now, think twice. Just remember, yo, this ain't financial advice. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Mexicans.